Hi, my name is Jill Gillianball. I am an infant and early childhood mental health consultant for the Children's Resource Center in Bowling Green, Ohio. And as part of my role with the Children's Resource Center, I help promote social and emotional wellness for children ages 0 to 8. And what I wanted to do today is just share a quick tip, a quick strategy with you that is helpful to kind of reduce some of that challenging behavior and just kind of build up some of those protective factors and increase that social emotional wellness for young children. And what I wanted to do is just talk about feelings. This is one of my favorite posters from talkingisteaching.org, and it kind of gets us thinking about some of that feelings discussion surrounding young children. But a couple things that I wanted to point out is every behavior that we see from our child has a feeling behind that behavior. So it's in a response to usually a pretty big feeling like anger, sadness, disappointment, frustration, even jealousy sometimes. So thinking about, when my child hits their sister, what are they feeling? Are they feeling jealous, or are they feeling mad or frustrated about something? Or when they threw that toy, what was the feeling that was causing that behavior? So the first step to be able to help children regulate those big feelings, since we know there's feelings associated um, with all of those actions and the behaviors that we're seeing, is to help them to be able to identify what they are feeling. So I like to say, and it's kind of a catchy, you have to name it to tame it. So in order to be able to cope with the feeling, they have to know what it is, and they have to know what that feels like and be able to identify that. And even pretty young children can do this. So a couple things, I could talk about feelings all day long, but I just wanted to give you a few kind of daily things that you can add into your routine, whether that's in the classroom, whether that's at home. But the first is just labeling feelings. And that's for yourself, for your child, kind of anything that you can label that feeling for. So thinking about when you're maybe cooking supper and maybe you burnt something, or you can't get a jar open or whatever it is, saying things to your child like, I feel very frustrated because this isn't working out the way I wanted it to, or because I can't get this container open, whatever that may be. So saying things like that, that self-talk and labeling those feelings for kids is really helpful. And then also labeling feelings for them. What do you think it is that they're feeling? So if they're maybe dancing around the room, whatever it is, and they seem maybe really excited, saying something like, wow, you seem really excited right now. I'm excited too. We're going to go to grandma's house, or whatever it is that's causing that excitement. Or even identifying something like, you seem mad right now. Do you need a hug? Or do you want to, go play outside or read a book? Whatever that may be. So, really thinking about labeling your feelings, your child's feelings. And then another way that you can even kind of facilitate that feelings discussion is just by reading books with your child. So, there's tons of social emotional books out there, tons of books about feelings and emotions, and there's a lot of really great resources. But if you think about any children's book that you read, sit down and read with your child, generally there's a plot line, there's a story, and there are feelings. The characters do have feelings associated with that. They might have some frustration, there might be some anger, depending on what's going on in the story. But it generally does even end kind of in that happy note if you think about most children's books. So just pausing throughout the book and saying, wow, how do you think this boy feels right now? Or how do you think the squirrel feels? And just kind of facilitating that feelings conversation throughout the entire book is really helpful for kids to kind of start to be able to identify what some of those feelings are, so they can kind of pinpoint what it is and communicate with you what that they're feeling inside. And then lastly, I really wanted to talk today a little bit about visuals. Another way that we can help teach these feelings to kids and help them be able to express themselves are, we know that kids are visual learners. You could do a simple Google search and you can find tons of emotions visuals, feelings visuals that you can utilize, whether that be in your home or in your classroom. So I oftentimes recommend to parents, have this maybe on your refrigerator, or, keep it at your child's eye level where they can see it and they can identify with that. They can see the look on the faces of, the happiness or the anger, and they can kind of help to identify that's what I'm feeling, and that's anger, or that's excitement, or that's disappointment, or I'm scared. Whatever those big feelings are that they're experiencing, you can use this in a lot of different ways. I also recommend teachers always have feelings visuals in their classroom. You could just do general feelings check-ins with kids and have them look at the chart and kind of identify where they're at that moment. That can be super helpful. um, and then also if they're struggling, they can use this as well. If they're maybe frustrated or mad, or it can help them to, especially initially, be able to identify what that feeling is and express it in a healthy way to you. So definitely, that is something to consider. And I think that's all I have for you now. Like I said, I could talk all day, so I'm sure I'll be back with some more kind of quick tips. But these are just some easy things to kind of incorporate into your daily life to really make kids, to teach them about feelings and make them more aware of their feelings. And like I said, that's the first step to next moving on to how do we cope with some of those big feelings, those feelings that are maybe just a little bit harder to navigate through, especially for our young kiddos in our lives. So check back for more in the future, and I hope you got some information that you found useful today. Thanks.